Well, welcome to today's broadcast of the Church360 Unite, a basic introduction to Church360, and it's an overview webinar. I want to welcome you here. Thank you so much for coming and taking part of your day to take a look at the Church360 Unite. My name is Dave Farnham, and hopefully you'll see my information on your screen here. It's my contact information here. I'm a sales representative for Concordia Technology Solutions and have been here with Concordia Technology for quite a number of years. So I will be glad to help answer any questions. And in fact, as we continue to go through the overview here, I will be available to answer any questions that you might have during the overview of the software. And also today joining me is Ken Olemeyer. He's a senior marketing manager here with Concordia Publishing House. He's going to be the one that's going to walk us through the actual Unite website software. So Ken will be joining us here in just a few minutes after we go through just a few things introductory before we get into the actual overview of the software. A few housekeeping things that we have for today as we go through the overview webinar. We'll have about 50 minutes for presentation. That's going to follow with about 10 minutes for questions. And after that, well, actually all throughout, you can ask questions. So there is a question box in your GoToWebinar little window, and you are more than welcome to go ahead and ask questions in there, and I'll answer them as we go through the webinar. Some of them may be covered with what we are going to be going through, but you're more than welcome to ask questions at any time. The recording will be shared, so for those of you that are wondering, wow, I wonder, some of this information, like to be able to catch up with this and watch this again, you will get another email with a link to be able to watch this again. And sometimes there are some that signed up and they just for one reason or another, were not able to attend. And so they also will be able to receive that. So who is Concordia Technology Solutions? Well, we are actually the church administration division of Concordia Publishing House. We've been developing software for churches since 1984. Now, that does not mean that we had websites back then, but we've been working with software regarding servicing churches' needs for quite a while and working with churches on websites for a good amount of time as well. Not quite that long, though, because there weren't any websites available back then. Church360 Unite, that's what we're going to be looking at today in our overview webinar, but it is a part of a greater suite of products called Church360. Church360 has 3 different products in it. The one we're looking at today is Unite. There is Church360 Members, which is a membership management software. It helps you to be able to manage all your people data, attendance, and offering. So it's a very, very good software to use. And it also integrates with the 360 Unite software that we're going to look at today. The third part of the Church360 suite is the Ledger software, and that's a very easy to use church accounting software for treasurers. Especially, it's been designed for those that really have no accounting background, making it really easy to do church financial software or using that for your church and organizing everything that you need to do in regards to keeping track of your finances for your church. Church360 Unite, we talked about it being a church website builder, but actually it's a little bit more than that. Although it is a website in itself and very powerful, there's a lot of different parts to that. There's a blog component that we'll see in the Church360 Unite. There's also a member hub. So this is a place that really your members can be able to come into the website and be able to participate and have an online community. There's also file sharing. So it's a great place to be able to share files or documents with members, and be it private side, you can even share them privately with groups. And then there is also a calendaring system. So you'll have a main calendar. You'll also have individual group calendars that are available. And then mass email. So this is a very easy place using your website here to be able to really kind of manage your communications or be able to send out email information to individual groups, the whole church, and really stay in touch and have that online community for you. So as we're seeing here, much more than just having a website out here. This is really like an online communication tool for your members, having that public side of the website, but also having that private side where you can really truly connect with one another in an online community. So with Church360 Unite, all of the themes that we have that are built into the Unite software, they are all mobile accessible. And with that, it means that every single theme is going to work well, whether you're coming into the website with a PC or you're coming into the website with a tablet or your phone. They also sync with a church management software of the Church360 members, which we kind of talked about before, and also shepherd staff. So those will be able to sync with the member data. So it's a great tool to have, especially for those that have shepherd staff and the Church360 members, because that way it allows members to be able to update their information, and it will flow back to the two softwares that are here, the Church360 members and shepherd staff. Now, if you don't already have a custom domain or email that's connected with that domain, we provide that. Now, that can be certainly purchased from anywhere, but also we provide that too, so you can purchase it here and we'll help manage that information for you. Support and training are included. So when you start up with us, we're not going to just say, okay, great, I'm glad you signed up. Here you go. We actually come alongside of you and do the training. We'll have multiple training sessions with you so that you have a great understanding of exactly how to use the website, more than what you'll even see here, and it's more individualized, and you'll be able to ask questions all throughout the time that you have that training, and you'll have ongoing support. So you'll be able to call us and ask questions and get the assistance needed for adding content to your website, or maybe making some different changes in some ways. A few assumptions that kind of have today as we go into the webinar. One is that you at least have some familiarity with church websites. Also that you're probably new to Church360 Unite. You probably haven't seen too much of it. And the other one is that you're extremely busy. And so we want to be good stewards of our time together, your time, our time, and as we look at everything here today. So right now, I want you to kind of look at the tool that you have on your GoToWebinar, because we're going to ask just a couple different questions here and have a couple different polls. So go ahead and look at that and see if you can answer one of those polls that should pop up on your screen here. So if you would answer that, and then let's see here. Well, it looks like we have a pretty balanced. I had to kind of take my glasses off, as you can see, to be able to see this a little clearly. But yeah, it looks like we have a really balanced, between pastors and church administrators, office administrators, and also other people that are a little bit more technical, like the tech coordinators that we have there. So, and then we have a second question here. All right. So it looks like that all of us really are not users of the Church360 Unite. So all right. So that's good. I'm glad that you are all here and you're willing to take a look at this, and we'll take a look at the last question here too that we have. Or do we have? Yeah. I guess that really would be it, because none of us are really are users of Church360 Unite. So what I'm going to do here is just kind of go over the outline of what we're going to be looking at today. So first of all, we have we're going to give really just an overview of all of the tools of Church360 Unite, and then we're going to have some practical examples as we go through. Certainly there'll be questions and answers at the end, but you can ask questions throughout. And then what we're going to be looking at as we go through here too, we'll be looking at the themes and the styles that you can set in the software and the website. You will be looking at the different pages. What are the different types of pages that you can create? And then also the feed pages. We'll be looking at the different calendars and the events that you can create on the calendars. We'll be looking at the users and the member-only tools that are available in the 360 Unite. And then also we'll be looking at the directory. We'll be looking at groups, which is a big component of the Church360 Unite, and also mailing lists. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to have Ken now pop in, and he's going to kind of take us on that next step.
Well, I popped in and I popped out. Let me get my camera back. All right, good. Hey, thanks everybody for coming here today. And Dave, thanks for inviting me in to do this with you. As Dave mentioned, my name is Ken Olemeyer, and I'm one of the senior marketing managers here at Concordia Publishing House. And while Dave has been working with Concordia Technology Services and this software for a lot of years, I'm still relatively new at it. I have only been here at Concordia Publishing House for the past couple of years. But that's the reason why I wanted to be able to show this to you today. I want to show you how easy it is to build a professionally designed and fully functioning website without having to know any coding, and really not do much more than just do some basic text editing. So in my job, I get around and I talk to a lot of churches. I talk to a lot of pastors, administrators, people who have different roles, youth leaders, everything like that, people who have different roles in their churches. And one of the things I always have a challenge with is, how do I find these people? Well, I do use the annual and I do use the roster, but I always make a point to go to their website. And I think that's what a lot of our visitors do. They go straight to your website and they want to see what your church looks like. And a church's website can really tell a lot about the personality of the church. I love looking at churches that have a lot of multi-generational activity in it, or they have the vitality and the activities going on. They have Bible studies. They have devotional materials. Their sermons are online and things like that. And with Church360 Unite, you too can have an opportunity to build a website like that. And it doesn't take a whole lot to do that. So today we're going to take a 30,000-foot view, as Dave said. And there is the opportunity in the chat box. If you have questions and things like that, please ask questions, because that's what we're here for today. But I want to show you just how easy it is. Now, we're not going to be able to cover everything in the time that we've got today. And, we're going to cover a lot of ground. But our recommendation is really to kind of take a test drive yourself. We've recently launched a new website, and I'm going to see if I can share my screen here. And my screen should be popping up. Can everybody see my screen there? All right, good. So my screen is up. And this is the new website that we have. Let me share it just real quickly with you so you can just get a little flavor of it. If you go to concordiatechnology.org /church360 /unite, or if you just type in Church360 Unite, that'll take you to the link as well. You can see examples of what your church could start looking like in this. And again, the multiple screens and the different ways you can be shown. I'm going to do this. But one thing you notice here too is on every one of these, you'll start seeing the free trial down here, and there's a free trial up there. Our recommendation, if you haven't signed up, to sign up for a free trial. You've got a full 30 days. There's no credit card needed or anything like that. There's no commitment or obligation, but it gives you 30 days to just kind of start playing around with it and just starting to see how simple it is to get your church up and running right away on the web. And during that time, as Dave said, you'll have full support to our access to our support people. So we're here to help walk you through this and make sure that it's something successful for you. So let's go ahead and get started now. And I want to switch over to a site that I've already started building. And for the purposes of today's demonstration, I'm going to call it Concordia Church. So as an administrator, this is the page you'll see as you sign in and start working on your site. And you notice there's some navigational tools here at the top. You see pages, you see posts, activities, users, themes, settings, and we're going to walk through some of those. So let's just start right now by taking a look at settings. And this is really where all your account information lives. You can see your usage stats there of the unlimited space that you've used. You can see where this is where your church information is available. You can fill it out. You can put in email that the public can then use to email and ask for more additional information, or it could be the pastor's email, however you want to do it. Your phone, your address, your time, etc. Something to keep in mind as you're working on this software. Always make it a habit just to hit save changes. As I was starting to build the site, if I wasn't in the habit of it, I'd lose some materials. And it's really important as you're starting to do more and more editing, just to get in that habit of saving changes. Now, a couple other things here you'll notice, calendars. And this is a great area because you can then set up which calendars are public calendars, which calendars are private calendars. You can share the ones that are in groups, and we'll dig a little bit deeper later into groups. The next thing here, as Dave said, are domain names. If you don't currently have a domain name, we can help you set that up. You'd have a Church360 Unite domain name, but if you wanted to do that personalized one, you could do that as well. It's very simple to do, and you're not required to do it through us, but we're here to help you on that. The next part right there is Google Analytics. And this is a free tool from Google to really help you keep track of your website's traffic. Who's coming to your website, where are they coming from? There are a number of metrics that you can build that really can help you see which pages are being hit more often. Again, if you have a site where you have a lot of visitors coming in, you can kind of see where they're going. And it is very helpful. You don't need it to get started, but it is something down the road that would be beneficial to you. We have a lot of description here of how to set it up, but our people are always here to help you with that as well. And then the final area here is integration. This is where you can take your Shepherd staff membership and integrate it, or if you're already using Church360 members, that is automatically integrated in. There's really no reason not to sync up your members, and that just kind of helps your website become even that much more valuable to your members. So the next area here, before we start building, let's look at themes. Now, one of the great things about our theme section is right off the bat, you have 12 professionally designed themes that you can use. You can use them straight out of the box, or these are very highly customizable for you. Each church, as I said earlier, has a personality, and this is where your personality can really come through. These are free to use throughout your subscription. You can change them at any time. One of the things you can take a look at is, let me see, what does this one look like? Well, then it drops down to all the presets. And if you click on a preset and hold it, it will then pull up so that you can get a sense of what it's really going to look like. A couple other ones here if you want something more minimal. Here's another one for you. So there's a lot of different options. Now, a couple of cautions for you. You want to select a theme that really does reflect your church's personality or culture. Think of the theme as kind of the window dressing or the decorations in a room. You want something that's going to be a very positive reflection on your church, and that's really welcoming and engaging to your visitors, and something that's going to keep bringing your members back in. So the themes give you a lot of different options. However, we recommend really not changing them up all the time. You really want to kind of make it a user experience that people are familiar with, but it does give you that option to freshen it up. So notice that each of these has these different preset options here for you. If you click and hold, like I said, you can get into any one of them, take another look at it. You'll notice at the bottom too, and I'm going to highlight this one, it provides a little bit of a description of what the theme is about. It gives you some ideas on pixel sizes for when you upload pictures, and we're going to upload some pictures. I'll show you how to do that later. But as you're building your site, especially now as you're trying to start working with it, use a bunch of different themes. Try a bunch of them out and see the one that you like best, that fits your church the best. And also, once you select it, all you have to do is hit apply theme, and then it will change everything over. Don't worry about losing content. The content will automatically transfer over as you change themes. So it's as simple as that. There's no coding involved in this. Now, if you go to styles, that allows you to customize even more. This is really, if you think about it, the blueprint of your website, where you could go in here and you have the different heading styles. Your heading 1, heading 2, 3, they're all down there. And here's where you can go in and change your font families. You can change the style. You can change the font size, the decoration around it, the color of the fonts, the background color of your screen, the margins around everything, the padding, which is really kind of, if you think about it, the space that goes in and above. And you see me just doing that real quick. So I'm going to cancel that so I don't save it automatically. But this is where you can really customize it more. And again, this is where your personality can come out. Now within styles, you have the block styles and you have the inline styles. So this would be the text that's inline. But you can also do things that customize it so that you can save a theme, or pardon me, save a style and make it something like emphasis. So this is what I did here, and then you just hit save as, and I changed the font, I changed the style, I changed the color. So you can have that available to you in the style guides. So you just save as a different name. So the next size is customization, and that's where you can customize your site even more. So here you see my website, and again, for the purposes of our demonstration today, this is the one I've already started building. I'm calling it Concordia Church. But when you click into any of these areas, let's say I want my hover color, I want to change the colors. I can go in and customize the color palettes of any part of my website. And it's as simple as moving this slider bar, or moving this here if I want to go to a different tone. You see the RGB numbers, you see the HSB numbers, and you see the hex numbers. Now, if your church already has a style guide and you already have customized colors, or you're thinking about doing that, there's a number of ways to organize these colors, RGBs and such. One of the ones I love going to all the time is the Pantone website. It's pantone.com. You just hit color finder and you can go through and find colors that you want. And when you do that, it will pop up. It will give you the RGB numbers that you could type into our site, the hex number that you could type in, and it just makes it that much more convenient for you. So let's not save that change right now. And I do want to put a little plug in here right now for a style sheet. As you're developing your website and you're working with Church360 Unite, it really is helpful if you develop some type of style sheet, because you're going to probably have other people working on your site, and you want your site to have a consistent look and a consistent feel and a personality. Determine the fonts that you want, determine the color palette that you want, and then kind of put all that in a sheet that you can give to everybody else. And again, it just makes it that much more simple. Remember to hit save changes so that your changes aren't lost. And you notice something else down here. You notice this little circle I, which we call the information center. Anytime you're on the site as the administrator and you're working on something and you have a question, you can go right to here and type in something. So let's just say how to change colors. And I hit enter, and this will take you into our help areas where you can have style overviews, how to customize my theme, or it gives you the option to send us a message directly with a question. So if you don't find the answer there, send us a message or give our support people a call. They would love to help you on that. Okay, I'm going to cancel out of that. Or go back, close that. Last couple items, and I won't spend too much time on this because I want to start showing you the site itself, is the advanced area. Here is an area where, again, if you're just starting out, you don't need to get involved in this to build a website. But if you did have some coding experience or you wanted to really customize your headers or maybe some scripts into your page, here's where you would go ahead and do that. If you know coding, great. But if not, you can still make a great looking site without getting into this. And then the final piece is edit. And this is another great area where, let's say you like one of our preset themes, but you really want to make it your own. Here's where you can clone a theme and then start making the edits to it and then save that as well. So last but not least, you'll notice I'm going to get out of this by going up to my tab and clicking the X out of here. And that's how I get back to my site. So here's my site again. So let's move over to pages. Because this is where your navigation is going to live. And before I go into there, I just want to point out some navigation tools right there. But let's go into pages, and that's really where you start building out your site. This is where your navigation and your content lives. And content is really just a fancy name for the stuff that your members and your visitors are interested in learning about you. This is where you have that great opportunity to share and to engage with your audience. And this is where your personality and tone are going to live. This is going to be up to you to infuse that into your site. Now, with this section, you see two different areas. You see active menu items on the left, and you see available menu items on the left. And we've got to be careful here not to think of active and available as things that are on my site or things that are not on my site. And I'll show you what I mean here. On your active item members or menu items, these are your navigational tools. This is, if you take a look back to the website that I've already started building, you see my home, you see visit, where I have some sub areas, worship times, about us, news, ministry, sermons, and I have a section here, Concordia members. So let me just switch back to the pages and I'll show you what I mean. So when I come back here, and I have two different ways that I can add materials. I can add a category or I can add pages. When I add a category, it goes straight to here as the navigation. So I've got my navigational tools here, and you'll notice that I have some pages underneath it. One thing, as Dave mentioned, these are mobile accessible sites. So you can't really go too far deep into a site, but we'll be able to link into it. But you can't go the top navigation and a sub. That's about as far as you can go. You can't do a sub and a sub and a sub and a sub. But I'll show you how to bring pages in. And we also, when we talk about mobile accessible, what do we really mean by that? Well, again, I'm going to get out of here. And really, it's as simple as when your site goes into different tablet or phone or things like this, your pages will change with it. And that is a great, great feature. As so many of us look to our phones these days to get information, having a website that's mobile accessible is very convenient. And again, there's no coding in this. We've taken care of all the coding for you. All right, let me get back to pages. You'll also notice here there's some actions for the selected pages. They're down here, publish, which is when you make it live. You make your draft where you're able to keep working on it, delete, obviously getting rid of it, and then the public pages and then the private pages. So public is for anyone to see. Private would just be for the select people that you choose, either your members or people within groups or things like that. And then there's duplicate. So I pointed out these two sections on the right. Add category, that goes straight over here to your active menu items. That becomes another tab for you. I'm just going to get rid of that. Within those categories too, let's say you want to change the order of your categories. It's very, very simple to do. It's as simple as dragging and drop. So let's say I wanted to move my worship times right after my home tab, or right before visit, or maybe I wanted to move about us right before. Just drag and drop, and then that would, I need to go back and save. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to save my changes. And then you see my tabs have been changed there. So it's very simple to do. But let's add a page, because then, again, this is where the content is going to be. So let's add a page. And you see you have a lot of different options when you add a page. You have a blank page, you have a feed page, which is kind of an RSS, and we'll talk about that a little bit. You have a group page, which is a really neat feature in Church Unite, 360 Unite. And then you have these different areas that have some pre-populated text in here. But let's just add a single page and just start editing. So I'm just going to put on there demo page. And that's as easy as that is. And then we can click straight to the page. And that's going to take me to the page itself. And I'm going to start editing this for you and just show you how simple it is. First thing, when you start editing a page, there's an Edit Page tab to your left. When you do that, you see the different layouts here at the top. You can do the single page. You can do two different columns. You can do a bigger column, a small column. You can do a top header, bigger column here, smaller column here, on and on and on. So there's a lot of different options for you there. You also notice the status bar, whether it's a draft that you're still working on or whether it's something that's already out there published. Then you see the URL. This is where you would see it up here, and you can change that as well. Maybe I don't want to call it demo page. Maybe I want to call it test. And then you see how that gets changed there. And again, I'd have to hit save. See, and then that changed it up in the URL. That's really nice because then you can customize the URL and make it simple for people. And then you have the page title and the meta description. And again, this meta description is interesting. This is what's seen in Google or other search engines that describe your site. So if you don't put anything here, it'll pull the information from your site. However, this is really a great way to engage, put engaging information in for people who are searching for you, or you want to increase your search engine optimization. Here's where you can put some of this information in. Again, you don't need to do that to get started, but it really is a great tool for you. So I'm going to click out of there. And for the sake of time, I want to take us to a page that I've already started that we can visit and look at. And it is going to be, let's do worship times. I moved my titles around, so I had to find it. Let's do worship times. This is a page that we already had. It has that preset type already in it, but I'm going to show you how to edit it. So we can go in here, and it's very simple to edit. All you have to do is click on the box. You see the blue box around it. Then up comes our style bar up here. And this is really no different than typing into an email or typing into a word processor. So let's say upcoming special services. Well, we are in the season of Lent right now when this is being recorded. So let's say Easter and Easter Sunday. So I can just hit that. And then I want to do some other things. I can tab over, or I can, you see my bullets right there and there. So let's say Easter Sunday, 6:30 a.m. Let's do a 8 a.m. I know this is a busy, busy time of the church year for everybody. So again, we appreciate you coming out. 9:30 a.m. Okay. I just click out of it, but I have to save it. I want to remember to save it. And there it is. It's that easy. And everything goes back to the styles that we had right here. You can change your styles. You see the styles that we set up underneath the themes area. So everything is there. Now let's say you wanted to add a picture, because when we click this up, you see there's different things we can copy and paste. This is great. You can paste from a Word document, so you can actually do all your spell checking there. You can do different things like anchoring the text or providing a link. But here's some different multimedia options for you: the picture, audio, video, embedding a file, some other things. Let's take a look at how to add a picture and how simple that is. So now I'm going to go under another page that I've started building under children's ministry. And I wanted to promote our VBS that's coming up. So we've got VBS coming up in June, and I wanted to add this logo page, but I want to add another photograph. So I go back to edit page, and I can either add a picture in this layout, but let's say I want to do it where I come back and I put it in a 2-column. So I get into my other column, I click, my style bar pops up, I have edit or image, insert image. I'm going to tab on that. Now I've already uploaded a couple different pictures, again, just to make it a little bit more convenient for us. So I'm going to find the photograph that I want. I'm going to click on that. You notice that it uploads with a URL in there. And then I'm just going to hit OK. Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at what happened to that picture. That really went pretty crazy. Well, let me show you how to take care of that. So we go back, we click on the picture, and we go back to the Advanced tab. And you see the pixel width and height. So what it's doing, it's trying to take that whole column. Well, I don't want that. Well, there are a lot of different tools that you can use to find out the pixels and things for the website. Again, if you just go into Google and you just hit something like pixels for pictures on my website, you'll get a lot of different options for you. Remember, though, too, that we had that in our themes. It'll tell you what your themes would prefer. But I want to show you a little trick here that's pretty neat and pretty easy to do. In our width, I want it to be that width of the bar. I just go in and I hit 100% and then tab over, and I'm going to hit 100% here as well. And then I'm going to lock my aspect ratio and hit OK. Oh, and there it is. There it is, right in the size that I want with my column, and I can go in there and I can adjust it. You know, some of these type of things are, you know, trial and error and take some practice, but being able to just pop it in there right away like that is very convenient, and you'll get the hang of it very quickly. Now I'm going to save this so that's still there. So I could go back in and add some additional text and some other things. Now there are a couple other types of page ideas that I'd like to share with you. You remember when we were adding pages and we had the option of the feed page, the RSS, or the groups. And I want to show you a neat example of what you can do with a feed page. So let's go to news and let's go to announcements. So I'm going to click on that. This is an example of an RSS, a really simple syndication feed page. And that's what it really is. It's simple to add. It's simple to push out to your members. So I've clicked into this. This is a great tool for announcements because it's very easy to update things. It will push information out to people who have subscribed to it. And it's easy for me to add. So let's say, again, because this is a busy season, I'm going to say Monday, Thursday. Click on that. That gives me my headline, service time 7 p.m. I can go in here and edit it. I can add some more formatting options like that. I bold it, and then I just hit create and I hit save. And now this RSS feed is up. My announcement is there. I can add additional text in it. We talked about doing kind of a blog post. This is a great way. The feed page is a great way to do your blogs, and that will promote to everybody who signed up for it. So the other area it's great for too are your sermons. So this is actually a RSS feed, and you see here I've got an audio link for my audio that I've uploaded. I've uploaded my sermon into here. Something interesting too, and I didn't check this on the other one, but let me go back to my pages and go back to my announcements. When you do a feed page and you go into edit pages, you see that the side changes a little bit as well. Again, it has our URL, it has our feed title, it has our meta description, but it also tells you how many posts per page you'd like to have. Let's say I just want 2 for this, and we'll see what happens on that. And then you also have the option to allow comments from your members or to help you moderate those comments. And if I save that, okay, now just 2 of those showed up. So that gives you a lot of flexibility to write some different announcements or put some feeds in there, save them, publish them at a different time, and then upload them when you're ready to do that. The feeds really do help give your members a reason why to keep coming back, and a reason why that page can really stay fresh. You know, you don't want your website just to be a bulletin board that is just, I'm posting different things and you're hoping people are seeing it. This type of interactive tool allows you to really make it a site that your members see value in and they want to keep coming back to, and it helps develop those relationships. Another great tool here, and when I first started learning Church360 Unite, the groups function was something that I found really interesting and really useful. So I want to share with you how to do a group page. So let's go back into pages. We talked about how you can add a page, and you see this group function right here. Click into that, you can create the page, and it becomes a members only group. So I want to share on another page that I've already done. I'm going to click out of that, of how this works for you. And this is a really unique area. So let's say under ministries, under youth, I want to do a pastor's confirmation class, and I want to do it for not only the students but also their parents. And I want to be able to interact with everybody, you know, push lessons to them, get feedback from them, different things like this. Here's one way you can do it. On the youth page, you see I've already started to add some areas here, just some bulletin type of information, but then I have this pastor's confirmation page. And you see my photo on there because I'm the group leader in it. So the pastor's photo could be in there, or you don't even have to have a photo in it. But I click on it, and you notice how the page now changes. I've got on my edit page, I have this as a 2-column page with the larger column and the smaller column. I've put some information in there, you know, the table of contents. I've put a picture in there. I've given a link where you can download weekly audios or things like this, or I can even upload the weekly audios and put them in there as well. But look at this, and this is what's really neat. On the right side bar, you see these different elements on a group page: discussion, events. You can see who your members are. As an administrator, you're able to go in and edit the group and do some member settings as well. Let's just start at the top and we'll work our way through. So here's our title, but here's our discussion board. And I love this idea within a groups page that you can have a discussion board. And you know, think about this. We are all so used now on social media to sharing ideas and having discussions with people online. But if you think about it, in Bible studies, we've been doing that for years as well too, to have the discussions. But here's a place on your web page where you can really start to engage people and post announcements and things like this. And it's in this private group. So I can add a discussion point in here, you know, for the parents. What was your first memory of confirmation class? When did you take confirmation class? And they can post their replies back. For an announcement, I can say, you know, please be sure to read this week's lesson on the Lord's Prayer. Before class, we'll be reviewing the videos. I can also add prayer requests. And you notice each of these two is a different color code. So as you're looking down in your discussion board, you see the different color code. But that is just fantastic. And again, it's as simple as going in and making a new comment, prayer request. Please pray for John as he goes into surgery. And probably need to, I need to hit post, sorry. I'm hitting the wrong button there. So I just hit post, and there's my prayer request as well. Members, you can add people into this group, and we'll talk about members and emails and things like this a little bit later, but it's very simple to start adding members into here. Let's see, select, so let's say I want to find a member, and I've got Barry up here, but so I've just clicked in his name. I want to add him as a member. So now he is part of this group as well. I can invite other members to be a part of the group, and we'll get into the groups and talk about that. I may have Dave even help me with some of that. Now, again, as the administrator, you're able to go in and edit the group's information. You can change the title. You can provide a description. You can have other pages in here. Let's say I wanted to add a download page. I could include that as well. So I have 3 different pages that I can put in there, and I can link it and things like this. As the administrator, you have the authority and the ability to go in and show, what's visible to people. You might want certain areas public to everybody on the website. You might want only the people who are users come in here. You might want only different group members or group leaders, or you may just want something completely hidden. You have the choice to do that. So I'm going to get out of this. And you notice too, when we go into pages, these are member-only areas, our groups. Now I've made this a public page, but I could change that. I could make it a private page just by going down here and clicking it and making it private. So I have to go in and change some settings, but we can do that. So you can make these public or private. Something else that I've done too, which I love with the group option, is I've even, in my ministries, I've built a page just of groups. And this is very simple to do. And again, you see the members only tab there. But let's say I have a women's Bible study, or I have a summer golf league. I can have my summer golf league here, and I've built my page out, and I can put my schedule here. I can put where the location of the course, where we're going to be, and then my members, all these different things. And I can communicate back and forth with everybody. So I love this group function. And really within a website, I can't tell you that I've seen this very often in different websites. So easy to do. It's convenient. It's extremely flexible. You can do it for, let's say you want to do it for your VBS teachers. You just start a group and you can be feeding them information right there on the group. You have your summer leagues, you have your Bible studies. You can really start segmenting this out in many different ways. And it really does set your website apart from any others. Last thing here too is another great option is the directory. I've added a tab here just for my members. And again, this is private. And if you think about it, groups are made up of individuals in your church. But what really is the most important group that you have in your church? Well, that's your members. And to have a church management software in place like Church360 members that automatically integrates, or if you have something like Shepherd staff that we can help you integrate, all your members can be found in one place. And you can then also go in and determine who sees that, what is private, what is public. But you've got here, I put a link in there that allowed me to go in and just say, click here to see our members. In fact, I'm going to go back to that. I can either hit the back button. Yeah, so this is my page. And if I edit a page, you would see I've highlighted that and I've included a link. And that is to a page or a feed within my site. And I've done it to the members page. I can add links to any other pages as well. But again, for this example, I want to just do our members. But look how simple this is. I can click here for a searchable directory of our members. All of my members are listed here on my web page. And I can also search for them by filtering. So let's say I want James. I click James, and you see it automatically starts filling in men who are named James, but then I also have the family name, James. So let me click into this and show you how this is. So I clicked into the James family, and this is automatically integrated for my Church360 members, but it gives me their address, it gives me a phone number, it gives me an email address, the individual members of the family. I can go in and edit the household very simply, where I can change family name, or if let's say they've moved, I can update that address here on my website. Let's say they don't want their phones listed. I can easily go in there and unlist it. As simple as clicking a checkbox. Let's say they don't want their emails listed, or let's say they have multiple emails. I can add additional emails. And then I just go back in and update the household. So let me click out of there. Let me click into Barry and just show you how that works as well. So when I click into my individual member, I also see what groups they're involved in. And again, how great is this if you're trying to pull a group together, or you need people that have certain skill sets or certain interests and you wanted to pull a group together? You see it right here on their page. Also will show me some recent activity that I've done either on my church membership type of software. So the last thing I want to show you in the time that we have is emails. And we do that through users. And we do that, here's again our list of users, and we can do that through this area here with mailing lists. And if you're like me, you want to be able to send information to people quickly and easily. And really, the whole purpose of your website is to be able to communicate information. Well, again, because we're all on our phones and we have this mobile accessible site, to be able to send an email to a group is something that would be really great to do. Now, I'm going to go through this, and I may have Dave jump on too, just to kind of walk through some different things, because there's some really neat areas in here. And all of these, I mean, we're going to be doing more of these type of sessions as we go in, and we can tie into some of these. If there's an area here that we just glossed over and you want to see it more in depth, or if you have questions on it, please don't forget the chat box to add some questions, and we can address those as well. So I wanted to send an email out to my summer golf league, and I've added this whole summer golf league, but let's say there's somebody that wasn't available or has joined later, or I wanted to add somebody, I can add another name in here. Let's say men's leadership group. I've got 3 of the different men in the congregation. I can add people very easily here. I go into my confirmation class. You know, it's just me right now, but I could add the confirmation class. I could add the whole group right there and save it. So that's how easy it is to add people into it. If I wanted to create an email list, so let's say Women's Bible Study. If I wanted to create a mailing list, type in my title, I hit create, I click onto it, it shows me to select the group. Again, if I've already, as a group, put all of them in there, I just hit the complete group, I hit save. It's that simple. And then when you want to send an email out, we're going to go down here to the bottom where it says action for the email list. I want to email. I click on it, and what it does is it will open the browser of your, or the email client of your choice. In my case, I use Outlook. So it's popping up. Oh, I've actually closed my Outlook for this webinar, so it's trying to open up my Outlook right now. But it would open up your Outlook. It would have the group mailing list listed there. Now you would see something kind of funny. It's sent through a relay system. It's called relay.360unite.com. That allows you to send this out to a mass group of people and not get bogged down on filters and things of this nature. So it's easy to do multiple emails at once. Also within that email, you'll notice there's a little unsubscribe button there as well. So that allows you to stay current to some of the new rulings. GDRP is one, some of the different legal requirements. So all of those things are taken care of for you. So it's still opening my email client. And again, I apologize. It's because I had actually closed it before I got onto the page, onto the webinar. I'm just going to hit back to close or to home. And just to wrap up, I think as you've seen, there's just a whole lot that you can do with Church360 Unite. And this is just an overview webinar. We can go into more features and more in depth in time. But it's very easy to provide your church with a professionally designed, highly engaging, highly functional website in really just a matter of hours without any coding experience or without any feeling that you have to be a design expert or anything of that nature. And that's why I'm so excited about this software. This is going to grow with your needs and continue to allow you to put more and more information in there. So you didn't have to even know a lick of code to be able to do this. And as I said, we're going to be offering more of these sessions. If there are things you want to know about, please jump in. So again, thank you for attending. We're running up on some time here, and I want to just wrap up by saying thank you for this. I know it's a busy season right now with Lent going on and everything else that you have going on. If we can ever be of assistance to you, either contact myself or Dave, or any number of our Concordia Technology support staff. They'd be happy to help you. And I'm actually going to switch it back over to Dave now. And if you've got any specific questions that he can help answer, he's available for you right now. So Dave, I'm going to put it back to you.
Sure. Thanks, Ken. A couple things that I'll just point out to us too. When Ken showed us the directory today, I just want to make sure that everybody is aware of that directory is always on the private side of the website. It will never be seen by anyone unless the church has given you access to log in as a member of the website. So that security is intact. Also, one of the things that any person can do is unlist any information. So if they don't want that information, they don't want you don't want your address seen, you don't have to have it seen. You don't want any phone numbers or email addresses seen, they don't have to be seen.
Yeah, I love the privacy aspect of that, Dave.
Yep.
And the fact that you can't use that directory for commercial purposes.
Yes. Yep. So the other thing too that I'll mention is in regards to emails, and Ken mentioned this, you can email individuals, you can email your whole directory of people at one time, and you can email groups, as he mentioned. Now that is not available for every single person. There are permissions that you set for people. So the general user will never be able to email they're not going to be able to email everyone. They're not even going to be able to email groups. They won't have the access to that last window, one of those last windows that Ken showed. Only your main administrator or maybe someone who's listed as a publisher in the website will be able to have access to that. Your general user will just be able to get into the directory themselves and see the contact information of others. If you set someone to be a group leader of a given group, then that person has access to be able to email out the members or the entire listing of members of that group, but they cannot go beyond that group. So a lot of different aspects that limit the amount of ability for people to be able to email out and or even add content to the website. So you do have control over that. I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of that. We certainly are here to answer questions. One thing that I'm going to do here is just show you this next screen here. Hopefully that will come up here for you to be able to see that it says start a free 30-day trial at 360 Unite. So that is a place you can start a free trial. Again, we are not here to we're here to help you. So during this trial, any questions that you have, you don't feel like that you've got to, oh my gosh, they're going to pressure us. No, we're here to see, is this going to be a need we're going to be able to fulfill a need that you have, and we're here to answer questions all during that trial. So again, I'm so happy that you were able to join us today. Here is my contact information. Again, ask questions if you have any, and put that in the question box. We will certainly be glad to answer those questions here at the end of the webinar. I don't think I see any additional questions.
Hey, Dave, I want to just jump into while you're looking at the questions. If you do start using Unite, send us your links, send us your page. We'd love to see what you're doing with it. We'd love to see how it's helping your church communicate to your members and to the visitors who are looking for your church. So we love seeing that type of stuff.
Exactly. So I don't think I see any other questions here that have come up. Yeah, I don't think I see anything else. So again, we'll give it another 30 seconds here if you're actually typing that in. But again, very easy to use. What I like about it is I am not a person who knows code. However, I would never need to use code with the website. But the website is here for those people that do have knowledge of code. So if you have HTML knowledge, you can use it. And you can get into the CSS and add different things into your header and the footer and things like that too, for those of you that have that knowledge. But for those of us that don't, and I put myself into that bucket, It's not me, but I can certainly do almost anything that I need to do. Link to anything that I need to link and embed media into it. If they give me the code from YouTube or Vimeo, boy, I can just take that code and just drop that into the page and make it look really professional with using our WYSIWYG editor. So again, I appreciate everyone coming today and taking out your time to take a look at this. I don't think I see any other questions here. So we're going to sign off. And again, thank you so much. Have a great day and a great upcoming weekend. And God bless you.